Tristan Law Show. If it's your first time here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. I'm Tristan Law, semi-retired pro wrestler, and today, I'm your host. Well. If you listen to wrestling fans this past weekend after watching, Royal Rumble or, just in general, you would think that WWE is collapsing in on itself. And, WWE is the worst thing since, putting a billionaire in the president. Damn it. Talking about politics already. Not supposed to do that here. That's not what we do. I apologize. But according to the internet, Saudi Arabia was empty. The woman had to pay for their own gear. And Triple H can't book. And somehow, y'all want Vince back. This isn't me defending WWE. This is a reality check because maybe WWE isn't the problem. Maybe Triple H isn't the problem. Maybe Saudi Arabia isn't the problem. Maybe you are the problem. Today, we are talking about why fans miss chaos, why stability feels boring, and why the same outrage keeps coming back, and whether wrestling fans actually know what they want anymore. And once you understand why fans miss Vince and everything, and why everything sucks right now, maybe everything will click for you right now. What's going on? My boy Tyrell is here from the Nosebleeds, FTNB2025. The Nosebleeds, he is here. Check out his show. He's here on YouTube. A friend of the show. So now, with everything that's happening right now in the WWE, right? The thing that I'm seeing the most, what everybody is saying that they want, is that they want Vince McMahon back. They want that guy. They want that guy right here back. And if it's your first time joining us, or it's your first time just being alive and you don't know who Vince McMahon is, that's the guy right here that built the WWE. He's the guy that built pro wrestling as you know it. And everybody used to complain about Vince McMahon so much. Oh, his booking is terrible. Oh, Vince McMahon is so out of touch. We want somebody else better than Vince McMahon. But now that Vince McMahon is gone, for whatever the reason may be, that we are not going to hash out today because that's not why we are here. Everybody wants Vince McMahon back. Everybody wants Vince McMahon back. You know one thing my mother always says? My mother always says it's better for you to have the devil that you know than the devil that you don't know. Y'all, look, we knew Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon was the man that was tearing up, allegedly, because I don't work there. My name is Tristan. I work here. Vince McMahon was the man that was tearing up scripts minutes before Raw would go on the air and they'd have to rewrite the whole entire thing. Some weeks, not going to lie, I'm keeping 100 with you right now. Some weeks when this guy right here was in charge, Vince McMahon, Vincent Kennedy McMahon, some weeks when he was in charge, Raw was terrible. SmackDown was even worse. Then what happened? Triple H started running NXT. And what was wrong with NXT? Nothing. Nothing was wrong with NXT until it became NXT 2.0, and people blamed this guy for that. They blamed Vince McMahon for that. Don't get it wrong. There were some nights, even when Vince McMahon was booking, when Vince McMahon was in charge, when he was, I guess for the lack of a better term, he was God in pro wrestling. When Vince McMahon was booking, there were some nights that we still got some really awesome moments. I don't think that WrestleMania might have been a home run every single year, but it always delivered something. Fans never knew. We never knew what we were going to get. We had this abusive relationship with the WWE. Abusive. To where we would watch a Raw that wasn't even bad. It was trash bag bad. Like throw it in the back of the dump truck and haul it away. That's how bad it was. But what did we do? Every single week we would tune back into Raw. Oh, I'm never going to watch again. I'm done with the WWE. At the time, there's nothing else to watch. And then AEW came along. AEW gave us something to watch. And then a lot of us realized, we don't really like AEW like that. It's not for us. Because we've been indoctrined. We've been flim-flam, okey-doked, and bamboozled to believe that WWE is it. That's the kind of wrestling that we like. We don't like move for move for move for move. We like storytelling. And that's what we was getting. Terrell from the Nosebleed podcast says, from the Nosebleed show says, it's outrage now, but in 3 years' time, it'll be nostalgia. I miss those times. The same IWC internet wrestling community that hated Vince now wants him back.
Thank you.
The same people that hated Vince McMahon, that felt like Vince McMahon was out of touch, they want Vince McMahon back. Isn't Vince McMahon the same exact guy who everybody wanted to wash their hands with? Because he was, now listen to what I'm saying now, alleged to have behaved inappropriately with women. The reason why I say alleged is because I wasn't there and I don't got no money to get sued. I am broke. So what I can say is that Vince McMahon was alleged to have behaved inappropriately with women, regardless of the facts, maybe, or opinion, whatever. And everybody washed their hands with him. But now all of a sudden we wash our hands with Vince McMahon. We want Vince McMahon back. You know why? Because Vince McMahon didn't give us consistency. He gave us adrenaline week after week. We were chasing the high with Vince McMahon week after week, trying to figure out what it is that we're going to get. And now that we got what we really wanted the whole entire time, now we don't like it. You always got to believe, you always got to be careful what you ask for, because what they say, the grass may not be greener on the other side. Maybe it's not. What's going on, Fernando? Right now we got a poll going on. Sorry, God, I can't call the poll if Stu's watching. I know Stu's busy during the day, and he might want to drop by with his view later on. The survey, got a survey going on. How is WWE right now? Be honest. Be honest when I'm asking you, how is WWE right now? Right? Is WWE right now better than it's ever been? Is WWE fine but not exciting? Is WWE directionless and boring? Or do you just want Vince McMahon back? That's the poll, the survey. That's the questionnaire that I'm presenting to the live audience right now, live on the Tristan Law Show. That's why you post to, not supposed to. That's why you post to watch live. 12 o'clock, Wednesday, Thursday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, live here on YouTube. That's what we do. I'm creating a space today. You can come here, you can join us to where you can speak, your piece. Look, as long as you're not racist, homophobe, sexist, or just like, a people that's like, you just hate certain classes of people, as long as you're not any of those, you're welcome here with your opinion. Just be respectful. Chris Gallego said that AEW is the problem, not WWE. Well, you know what, Chris? Right now, everybody's complaining about AEW. I'm sorry, everybody's complaining about WWE. They talking about the arenas are empty. They talking about the fact that the ladies have to buy their own gear. They're talking about Triple H's trash bag right now in his booking, and we're going to get a little bit further into that, right? But what's going on? Let me give you the... Chris Gallego said that ESPN should dump WWE. You know what? Let me tell you this. If I want WWE to go to Netflix. Why? Because it'll save me a couple of dollars a month because I won't have to buy the VPN to go watch in the UK. It'll save me a couple of dollars a month. The only downside about ESPN dropping the PLEs is that I would have to watch everything on ESPN, on Netflix, and catch the commercials. In the UK, when I was there this past weekend, there's no commercials. Fernando is saying that fans want Vince McMahon to come back is ignorant. Fernando, fans saying that they want Vince McMahon to come back is wishy-washy. What do y'all want? Y'all didn't want Vince, y'all wanted Triple H. Y'all got Triple H, now y'all want Vince. After y'all get Vince and y'all don't like Vince, who y'all gonna want? Stephanie? Vince Russo? Who? Let me tell you something. The way that pro wrestling is working right now is that it's akin to a television show. And I wish Jess was here because she'd be able to talk a little bit more about TV because she watches a lot of like Games of Thrones and stuff like that. And the way that they're booking WWE is that it's slow. It's the slow burn. Vince McMahon didn't give us consistency. Oh, no, not at all. But what Vince McMahon did give us, like I said, he gave us that adrenaline dump.
Bing bang.
Vince McMahon created iconic moments. Think about it. Let's be honest for a little bit. Undertaker was undefeated at WrestleMania, and you remember that black guy's face when John Cena, that black guy's face when in the audience at WrestleMania in New Orleans, when Brock Lesnar beat the brakes off the Undertaker, everybody was in shock. That's a moment. When Shawn Michaels wanted to capture the boyhood dream, and he's coming down from the rafters at WrestleMania to win his first WWF championship. That's a moment. When Vince McMahon had his own daughter, storyline, kidnapped by The Undertaker and Stone Cold Steve Austin had to come save him. That's a moment. Vince McMahon gave us moments. You can't lie. What's going on, Maria? Vince McMahon gave us moments. He gave us moments. Y'all didn't want Vince McMahon, though. Granted, Vince McMahon rewrote the shows 25 million times before airtime. He panicked, he overcorrected, and he burned talent. Fans don't miss Vince McMahon's vision. They miss the feeling of not knowing if the show would even derail. And that's exactly why Triple H feels wrong to you guys right now in this moment. Let's give the chat a little bit of love. Chris says that Stone Cold Steve Austin should replace Triple H as the COO. Okay. From the nosebleed, my man Tyrell says that people really forget about Vince's booking from the late 2018 to the beginning of the Tribal Chief. Bruh. Vince McMahon. This man right here is the same exact man. The man that won the Royal Rumble this past weekend. The one that everybody's kind of wishy-washy on how he won, but everybody want to be out there throwing up their one finger. Vince McMahon had that man eating dog food in 2019 on SmackDown. Had that man tied up. That man, Roman Reigns, tied up to the ring post with Baron Corbin feeding him dog food. That's what y'all want Vince McMahon to come back and do? To give your favorite WWE superstar the opportunity to eat dog food? That's what y'all really want? Let's give the chat a little bit more love. Chris says, if I was ESPN, I'd get rid of the partnership with WWE. Fernando says that Chris, stream has nothing to do with AEW. He's right. Yeah.
Thank you.
Chris also says, bring back Mid-South Wrestling UWF World Class Championship Wrestling at Jim Crockett Promotions NWA. You know what, Chris? If you got the money, bring it back. If you've got the money, bring them all back, and I'm sure that we'd all watch. I'm sure Maria would watch, Fernando would watch, we'd all watch. Maria says, wait, y'all got to be careful. Because if it's your first time here, I need y'all to subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. I want y'all to push this out on your social media, share it out to the people. This is not a dirty secret of what we do here on the 830 Wrestling Network. But y'all got to watch out for the comment I'm going to read. Hot Take Maria is in the chat. Let's see what Hot Take Maria says. Maria says, we all know why Vince McMahon is not there anymore, and it's not because of his booking.
Thank you.
Maria said, we all know why Vince McMahon is not there anymore, and it's not because of his booking. Look, Maria, you ain't never tell no lie, sis. You ain't never tell no lie. Because if Vince McMahon if all the allegations, I'm only saying allegations because I don't got no money to get sued, okay? With all the allegations going on against Vince McMahon, Vince McMahon would still be there. Vince McMahon is the kind of person that he would probably be Vince McMahon would book Raw on Monday and die on Tuesday. That's the way I saw that it was going. I mean that in the most respectful way to him and his family. Vince McMahon would have booked Raw on Monday and died on Tuesday. And would have said in his will, make sure y'all have the funeral on Tuesday so that y'all can book SmackDown for Friday. Chris says that AWA should come back with the NWA. Fernando says WWE booking has become extremely stale. You know what, Fernando? I don't think it's become stale. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. I think it's just different. It's just different. And we're still trying to figure out what different tastes like. I'm drooling. We're still trying to figure out what different tastes like. From the Nosebleeds, show says, here's another hot take. Uh-oh, hot take. Vince is not 100% guilty, though, in his opinion. I am not a lawyer. I do not fashion myself to be a lawyer. I do not even pretend to be a lawyer on TV, even though my last name is Law. P. Diddy, got convicted. P. Diddy got indicted, got convicted, got sentenced, and is currently in prison serving his term. And Vince McMahon still ain't getting nothing yet. I don't know. In the court of public opinion, I can agree that what Terrell is saying, I can stand on that leg with him. Maybe Vince McMahon's not 100% guilty. Everybody's accountable somewhere. Maybe the ladies are accountable 1%, but I do think it's wrong that Vince McMahon might have used his power to manipulate people to want to do things. That's wrong. To use your power to say, hey, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. That's wrong. But just like Maria said, that's not why Vince McMahon is not here right now. That's not why he's not here right now. Let's talk about Triple H, right? Y'all want to talk about Triple H? Everybody doesn't, right now, y'all don't like Triple H. Y'all out there chanting, and I mean y'all, meaning the fans from Saudi Arabia. Y'all out there chanting behind Triple H after your country done paid top dollar to get the Royal Rumble in y'all country for the tickets to be dirt cheap. You would think you were going to go buy an indie ticket show. Y'all seen the ticket prices for Royal Rumble? I seen $13 tickets. Tell me where in America you're going to find a $13 ticket talking about you going to go watch WWE right now. You can't even buy a $13 ticket to go watch AEW right now. You can't even buy a $13 ticket to go watch your favorite independent wrestling show right now with some guy who looks like he just put on gym clothes calling himself a wrestler and only been wrestling for a week. But Saudi Arabia had $13 tickets. They brought it to y'all dirt cheap. And y'all gonna sit there and talk about that he messed up? How about they take WrestleMania and don't bring it back to y'all ever again? But now they're on a contract. They got to stay there. And we're going to talk about that as well, too. Because all the fans out there, everybody's so upset about Saudi Arabia. We're going to talk about the WWE and we're going to talk about Saudi Arabia. But right now, we're talking about Triple H. That's what we're talking about right now. We're talking about this guy right here. Triple H books differently. Triple H books with intent. Triple H is booking long-term arcs, and his payoffs are planned, right? Right now, we got another masked man running around in the WWE who they want us to believe that it's Seth Rollins. But I know it's not Seth Rollins. You know why I believe it's not Seth Rollins? Because if it was Seth Rollins, why wouldn't Seth Rollins take off the mask at the Royal Rumble for when he attacked Braun Breaker? So now we're getting into a conundrum. Now we went from watching pro wrestling to where everybody got beef to now we're going into a whodunit. Who did it? Who is the person that attacked Braun Breaker? I already said on yesterday's show, and if you missed it, go back and watch that. I already said that I think that it could be, what's his name? Austin Theory. Yes, it could be Austin Theory. He could be a covert operations with Seth Rollins. Or it could be somebody sent by Adam Pearce, because Paul Heyman told Adam Pearce during the pre-show for the Royal Rumble, if you're going to FAFO with me, I'm going to FAFO with you. So now maybe Austin, Adam Pearce feel like he got to protect himself. This is booking with the intent. Now that the whole internet should be talking about who is the masked man, not why the seats in Saudi Arabia were empty, and we're going to talk about that. The whole internet should not be talking about that they want Vince McMahon back. They should be talking about who is that masked man. Let me see if I could do the math. In 2 years, granted, I could agree with Fernando, where Fernando says that it's getting stale. Watch what I'm about to drop right now. In 2 years, we've gotten 4 whodunits from this man right here. We've gotten 4 whodunits. We got Jade Cargill, Jacob Fatu. We got we got the one where the Survivor Series where it was Austin Theories, and then we got this one. We got 4 whodunits. Whodunits. Who was the person that is hiding? We got a semi-whodunit when R-Truth came out, but R-Truth came out and pulled the mask off his head and showed that it was R-Truth in all black. So you're trying to tell me that R-Truth is going to unmask himself and Seth Rollins is not? What does Seth Rollins have to hide that he can't take the mask off? If it comes out to be Seth Rollins, I'm going to be very disappointed at the WWE. That's how Triple H is booking right now. The payoffs are planned. The characters are not reset every single Monday Night Raw because Vince McMahon is like, I don't like that one. We're going to go in a different direction. When you look at the eras, right, for Vince McMahon and Triple H, there's a contrast. Let me put up the pictures. Right? Because we like to do pictures here when we talk. When you look at the Vince McMahon era, looking at just the booking, in the Vince McMahon era, we got chaos plus last minute pivots, plus last minute, we're not going to go that direction anymore. But with Triple H in this era, we're getting patience and direction. Look, everything that comes out at McDonald's or at your favorite restaurant, you're not excited when it comes out. I am a person that hates the fall. You guys know why I hate the fall? Y'all gonna learn something about me today. I don't like pumpkin spice. Oh my God. I hate pumpkin spice. I hate pumpkin. I hate pumpkin pie. I hate pumpkin soup. I hate pumpkin seeds. I hate pumpkin donuts. I hate pumpkin latte. I hate if somebody even calls me pumpkin. If you've got a dog and your dog's name is Pumpkin, I'm going to kick it. Every single thing that the WWE comes out, you don't have to like it. There's so much in the buffet of the WWE. You're trying to tell me that out of the 4 matches that happened in Saudi Arabia, you got 2 Royal Rumble matches, 1 man, 1 woman. You got AJ Styles getting retired, but you know what? That's another discussion. I don't think he really retired. Watch yesterday's show with me and Jess. We talk about it. And then you get Sami Zayn. You know what? Nobody really believed that Sami Zayn was going to beat Drew McIntyre, but listen to me when I tell you this. On any given Sunday, the worst team, pick any sports, the worst team in the NFL can beat the best team in the NFL.
Yeah!
So there was that what if factor. Out of those 4 matches that we got in Saudi Arabia, Then we got the person that attacked Braun Breaker. That's what y'all really want to complain about? That y'all want Vince McMahon back? Y'all don't like Triple H? Triple H messed up because y'all didn't get Chris Jericho? Let me tell you something. Chris Jericho ain't never said that he was going to be in the WWE, okay? Chris Jericho never said that he was going to not be in AEW. It's fun for us to talk about it. Hey, Stu is here. Chris Jericho never said that he was going to be in the AEW, WWE, TNA, Indies. That's between Chris Jericho and his agent and his bank account. Would it have been nice if Chris Jericho had shown up? Yes. But for Chris Jericho just to come up to Saudi Arabia, for them to throw him over the top rope, and for him to not win, right now y'all even complaining on the internet that anybody that comes over from AEW, WWE is giving them the short end of the stick. Y'all complain that Royce Keys, formerly known as Powerhouse Hobbs, that WWE is trying to whitewash him because they gave him a name of Royce Keys. Listen to me. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. He picked that name. Royce is his son's name, and Keys is his mother's maiden name, his late mother's maiden name. Because WWE wants to take people and rewash them into their own image. Somebody put that on social media last night, and I said, by God, how dare the WWE do that? Because just imagine if Alex P. Keaton was the person that was in the DeLorean with Uncle Fester. If you know, you know. AEW is a different TV show altogether. WWE is its own separate TV show. So why in the blue hell would they want to bring over a character from another TV show? You know what? Maybe Powerhouse Hobbs owns the name. Maybe Powerhouse Hobbs, who's now known as Royce Keys, didn't like the deal that the WWE was giving him with using the name Powerhouse Hobbs, so he decided to say, you know what, just give me your own name. It doesn't matter. I already built a legacy in AEW. I'm going to build a legacy on the here underneath a new name. Because you know what they say, right? The man doesn't make the suit. I'm sorry, the suit doesn't make the man makes the suit. So it doesn't matter what his name is. Remember when everybody you guys remember, I'm going to give you this name right now. But because I wrestled, you know, I forget things. I'm going to give you guys a name right now. And I want you to see if you guys remember who that name is. The name is Walter. You guys remember who Walter is? Of course you don't remember who Walter is. But y'all was bitching and complaining when they changed his name from Walter to Gunther. And look at Gunther now. Does it really matter what his name is? Let me give the chat some love because Maria was in here saying something. Let's see. Let's go up there. Let's start with... Maria says that Triple H, HBK should replace Triple H. Maria continues to also say that the wrestling public doesn't want Roman as Royal Rumble winner because he was world champion for 4 years. It's too soon for him to win the Royal Rumble. The days of long title reigns is done. Devi ND19 said, they said, oh my God, that's the former Ricky Starks when Ricky Starks debuted. And they said, oh my God, that's Powerhouse Hobbs. Oh, he's now Royce Keys. A name's just a name. Y'all remember Mean Mark Callis? Let me tell you something. That boy Mean Mark Callis never amounted to nothing. Maybe he turned into the Undertaker. I don't know. You guys remember Sterling Golden? Huh? Remember who Sterling Golden was? Hulk Hogan? You guys remember who Jean-Paul Levesque was? That guy right there definitely ain't amounting to nothing. It's definitely not that guy. Jean-Paul Levesque and this guy right here are not the same. I promise you when I tell you that. Not the same. I watched WCW. I watched the old videos that they put out on WCW Vault or WCW, the channel on YouTube. Those two are not the same. Fans, you guys, some of you guys, wrestling fans, Don't hate Triple H for booking. You know what you guys really hate Triple H for? Look, I'm being honest with you right now. I'm being honest. What everybody really hates right now is waiting. Maria says names do matter, Tristan. Stone Cold would have never gotten over as the ringmaster. You're right.
Thank you.
Maria, you're 100% right. But it's not like a name like AJ Styles. AJ Styles already built up a lot of credibility under the AJ Styles name. And when he came to the WWE, the deal that they gave for him to allow them to use that name of AJ Styles might have been within his favor. Maybe somebody told him somewhere, hey, you know what? Start over. Start over with a brand new name and see what you can do. There's a lot of us that want to be successful in life. We have people that mentor us, people that are better than us and in the field that we are already in. And what we're looking for is people to just give us some ideas, some advice. Maybe that's an advice that he got. Devin says that AJ owned that. He was AJ Styles in WCW, and he was AJ Styles in Japan, and he was AJ Styles in TNA, and he was AJ Styles in the Indie. He shouldn't have to give that up. He shouldn't. But AJ Styles, and just like Devin is saying, and Devin, I've never seen your name before. Thank you so much for being here. The thing is that AJ Styles built up a lot of equity in that name. And thank you for your comment. Thank you for your comment so much for hanging out with us today. We're all looking at Triple H, right? And you have to look at Triple H like a family, like a father. Do you want the house that Triple H is building right now that has stability, or the house that Vince McMahon had that had chaos? I don't know about you. I like to kind of know what I'm going to get. I need a little bit of stability and predictability. Predictability, is that even a word? Predictability? Whatever. Versus a little bit of chaos to where I don't know what I'm going to get. To where every day when I turn on the TV, it's like, oh my God, what am I going to get? I don't know. And now, and nowhere does that impatience show louder than the Saudi Arabia conversation. Oh, we are going to talk about Saudi Arabia today. We're going to talk about Saudi Arabia right now. Now, everybody's upset about Saudi Arabia, right? And it's the same exact Saudi Arabia complaints every single show. It's the same exact complaints every single show. Let me give you guys a little bit of advice. If you don't like what's happening when WWE goes to Saudi Arabia, just turn off the TV. Nobody says that you have to watch it. Why don't you go run, go ride your bike, call a friend, send me an email, tristanlawshowmedia@gmail.com. I love talking to y'all. Call me at 973-826-0101 and leave a message. I don't know. Follow me on the Real Big Tris on Threads, and we can chop it up and have a whole conversation. You don't have to watch. Nobody's forcing you to watch. Nobody. People keep saying that Saudi Arabia is bad. And look, 100%, yes, it was bad. A lot of things were bad. They're changing. But here's what I don't understand. If we're being that strict about history, why does Saudi Arabia get zero grace for change, but America gets infinite forgiveness? Oh, y'all wasn't ready for me to say that? I'm going to say it again. Here's what I don't understand. If we're being so strict on the history of Saudi Arabia, why does Saudi Arabia get zero grace for change, but America gets infinite forgiveness? Look, it's February 2nd, and two things happened during February. There's one day for love and a whole month for Black history. I'm a Black man, first generation American, and this is what I'm going to say now. And I'm being honest with you guys to make a point about Saudi Arabia. America literally brought black people here in chains. That's not ancient history. That's foundational history. 200-300 years ago, black people were being brought to America in chains. So if we can acknowledge that, learn from it, and move on and move forward as a country, why is Saudi Arabia not allowed to evolve? What's so wrong with Saudi Arabia that, you know what, they can't say, you know what? The way that we've been thinking is really ass backwards. And y'all got me hyped up because if y'all watch often, y'all know I don't be dropping no cuss words. If Saudi Arabia can say the way that we've been thinking has really been backwards, maybe let's try to progress a little bit forward and maybe more people start visiting our country and stuff like that. Look, Rome wasn't built in a day. It wasn't built in a day. Sami Zayn, the guy that you guys cheered so much, he was anti-Saudi Arabia. And look who's in Saudi Arabia. Let's run through the chat real quick. Y'all need some love. Devin says that Dusty Rhodes would say, baby, I can't see Royce Keys main event in WrestleMania versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. Y'all like my Dusty impression? Want me to do it again? All right, I'm going to do it again. Devin, D-E-V-Y-N-D, okay, Devin D19 says, Dusty Rhodes would say, baby, I can't see Royce Keys main event in WrestleMania versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. Maria says that Mean Mark didn't get over. The Undertaker got over.
Yeah!
They let go of The Undertaker because they thought, my bad. They let go of Mean Mark because they thought that he would never make money. He would never make money. Now look now. One of the biggest names in pro wrestling is who? The Undertaker. Most of us grew up with The Undertaker. On my bucket list was watching The Undertaker come out live. Ain't gonna lie. Ain't gonna lie at all. Devin says that AJ owned that. He was AJ Styles in WCW. Read that. Maria says that Big Boss Man was really over in WWE. He was really, he was a nobody as Big Bubba in WCW.
Yeah!
Maria, you're right. They took the same exact gimmick and tried to wash it, give it a different name. You know why it didn't work? Because WCW was reality wrestling before reality wrestling was a thing, right? You had wrestlers running around using their real names, but they tried to see, you know what, let's see if this could kind of work. Utilizing the same exact, gimmicks as WWE, WWF did, where everybody was cartoon character, where everybody had a job. Maybe that's why it didn't work. It's for the same reason why TNA had so many restarts, because instead of trying to drive in your own lane, you're trying to drive in somebody else's lane. Maybe that's why Big Bubba didn't work. Devin said, nice to join y'all. I just subscribed. I want to hear wrestling content, so I found someone live. Look, brother, Devin, or sister, I don't know. I like doing live because I used to work on the radio. I used to work on a country music station. And for my anxiety, it's a lot better. I have anxiety and I can't smoke weed because of my job. And I've never smoked weed a day in my life. I can't do drugs. Not that I would want to do drugs. And I'm not telling anybody to do drugs to deal with your anxiety. But for me, I like doing live because once it happens, once I say it, it's gone. I can't take it back. I could probably edit it later on, but it takes about 12 hours for me to be able to edit it on YouTube. And I like being able to interact with you guys. I think that's the biggest part for the show. The biggest part for the show is being able to interact with you guys and giving you guys a space to where you can voice your opinion and say what you have to say. That's what I like here. That's what I like. Ooh, King Suavito's here. King Suavito says, no, Tristan, we don't mind a waiting game with Triple H. We don't hate Triple H. We hate how he's falling into the trap of protecting his favorites and not realizing it or being accountable. Okay. Just like I said, I am not the kind of guy that comes on here on YouTube and has a platform for me to bend over and for you to kiss my behind. I don't want yes men and yes women. You know what I want? I want people with their own brains. I want people with their own opinions, because you know what? My opinion is not the right opinion all the time, and neither is yours, right? There can be two things true at the same time, and mathematics proves that. 1 plus 2 is 3. No, I'm sorry. Let me give you a better one. 5 plus 5 is 10, and 1 plus 9 is 10. Two things can be true at the same time. Fernando says, welcome to new subscribers. Stu says, welcome, Devin D19. Fernando says, since Saudi Arabia is not in America, WWE is going to book against traditional fans.
Yeah!
That makes sense. Austin Roberts says that you sound like a yes man.
Yeah!
Stu says, not at all, Austin. Hey, look, man, we're having a great time here. We're having a great time here. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We come here, we sit around for an hour, we talk about wrestling. I believe this Friday we should have an episode of main event conversations with Cheyenne Ortiz. And the guest should be Steve Off. One of my good friends, he also runs Pro Wrestling Magic. I produce that show. I'm not live here. So make sure you guys turn on the notifications and subscribe and everything else like that. I look forward to you guys doing that. But we're talking about Saudi Arabia right now, right? Nobody's saying that Saudi Arabia is perfect. I'm not saying that at all. Look, quite frankly, God darn, I'm about to say that America ain't even perfect right now. America's not a utopia, neither is Saudi Arabia, right? There's some things that are really great in America and some things that are really nasty in America. And that's for you to figure out on your own what you feel is nasty and what you feel is good. And the same thing happened in Saudi Arabia. But the conversation about Saudi Arabia, it never actually acknowledges progress. They only talk about the punishment. And that tells me that this is not about morals anymore. You know what this is about? It's about comfort. So are we really interested in growth and change? Or do we just want someone to stay the villain forever so that we feel morally superior? Damn, I feel like I'm putting shots out there today. I need a drop. I need one of those. Stu says, shout out to Cheyenne, great interviews. Maria says, Tristan is no yes man. Look, Maria, you remember, I think it was Royal Rumble, the pay-per-view before Royal Rumble, not Saturday night's main event, Survivor Series. Remember when I was the only one that liked Survivor Series and all you guys hated Survivor Series? I didn't change how I felt. I respected how you guys felt. I understood where you guys came from, but you guys also respected how I felt and respected to where I came from. At the end of the day, we all shake hands, high five, and move on to the next show. That's what we do here. We have fun here. So Tristan won't criticize Muslims, but Christians he will criticize. I don't know what any of that means. But you know what? I'm glad that you're here. You know, if you're going to stick around, right? Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Go subscribe. If you're going to hang around, go ahead and hit subscribe. People like Fernando, Maria, Stu, King Suavito, we enjoy when you come hang around. It's an extra voice, right? We all have a different, quality, right? And about me not criticizing Christians or Muslims, I'm not criticizing anybody for their religion. I'm criticizing a country right now. We're okay with the same as that country that brought slaves here and forced them to work. And then when they were emancipated and no longer able to become slaves anymore, we figured out ways to oppress them. And still in 2025, people are still being oppressed. America ain't perfect. America's far from perfect. That's the thing about the world, right? Is that nobody's perfect. Nothing is perfect. This show right here, this YouTube channel, is not perfect. Everything's always, as long as you're always willing to change and get better, that's where it is. And that's where I have hope for America. That's where I have hope for the 830 Wrestling Network, that this channel is changing its name to 830 Wrestling Network, where the Tristan Law Show will still live here. We're not perfect. We're always changing. I think that Saudi Arabia is working on it. But pretending America has clean hands while acting shocked every Saudi Arabia show, that's not ethics. That's just selective outrage. You see, different cultures engage differently, right? And different cultures engage differently. Not every crowd performs for American TV. Look, there are some countries, places that the WWE has been right now that I'm like, yo, why y'all can't act like that in the Barclays Center? Why y'all can't act like that in the Kia Center? Why can't you guys act like that in the mainland? But y'all have to wait for the WWE to go international for it to be like, yo, damn, those crowds are hot. It's not necessarily a bad thing, though. Let me tell you why. Cultures are different. And because cultures are different, people react to things differently. And because they're reacting to things differently, it doesn't mean that it's bad. It's just how they celebrate. Look, in America, I can tell you this, being 21 is great because that means you can drink. In some countries, it's 18. They're not celebrating 21. In some countries, it's 19. Some countries, they don't even drink at all. It's not the thing. It doesn't mean that they don't like to have a great time. They just have a great time differently. Austin says that he hit like and subscribe. Stu says, I think that Roman won because he needed something. He can't be the tribal chief, etc. without winning stuff. He's been losing a lot lately.
Thank you.
Because Roman Reigns won the Royal Rumble doesn't mean that he has to go to WrestleMania and win. Because Charlotte Flair won the Royal Rumble last year, and then she went to WrestleMania and she lost. Let's see. King Suavito says that, now Tristan, I will say this. Lazy Levesque needs to get some more creative writing ideas and be open-minded to when his team pitches game-changing plays that he can take storytelling to new heights. Jess has said this before, and I don't want to speak for her. Here's one thing Jess has said. The writer's room is missing more people of color, black people. Because I grew up in the Bronx, New York, and then I moved to Florida, and then I moved back to New York. I have a different vision on how I see things because of my upbringings, because of my previous experiences, right? I think that they need some more of those previous experiences in the room. That's what I think that they need. Also says that nobody said that America is perfect, but true, all cultures are different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Austin also says that Roman winning isn't bad. I just don't want a part-time champion.
Thank you.
Yeah, 100%. I don't want a part-time champion. I don't want a guy that's going to show up every couple of weeks. I want the title to be defended. Why does Seth Rollins, Jey Uso, and CM Punk have to be the ones that do all the work? Why? I'll tell you why. It's not what you don't get what you deserve. You always get what you negotiate. And that's what he negotiated. I don't know. You know what I made for breakfast this morning? I made pancakes. And you could put cake mix in there. I'm a fatty.
Yeah.
You can criticize Saudi Arabia. You can criticize Saudi Arabia. It's right. It's okay. The best part, I think one of the best parts about being American is that you can come and say anything that you want to say within reason. So you can criticize Saudi Arabia. And you can admit that this discourse isn't new. WWE didn't suddenly decide last month that they were going to have the Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia. They did, however, build an arena in less than 30 days in the middle of a parking lot. In America, that could never happen. Why couldn't that happen? Because the unions got to get involved and everybody has to do this and everybody has to do that. WrestleMania, WWE built a parking lot from scratch in Saudi Arabia. At this point, Saudi Arabia isn't new information. It's comfort food for the angry fans. Stu says he's not going to win. Stu says, I'm a fatty. Look, bro, let me tell you. Even when if you looked at pictures of me and find me wrestling online, there's some pictures you'd be like, yo, bro, that's not you and that person's not the same. No, it's the same. I always love to eat. No matter what I look like, I always enjoy a good meal. I was telling my brother at my job yesterday. I was like, yo, bro, I always enjoy a full meal. People spend money on cars and clothes. What I spend money on, yo, I will sit down and spend $75 on a steak. You know why? Because I want to see what a $75 steak tastes like. I spent $15 on a beef patty and cocoa bread. I wouldn't eat it every day, but it was a $15 beef patty and cocoa bread. I know what a $15 beef patty and cocoa bread tastes like. Those are just some of the things that my crazy brain thinks about. Yeah. Stu says that he wants pancakes. Stu, so what you do is you take a little bit of the mix and you take a little bit of cake batter and mix it in there and just put the water in there and it's fried in the thing. Thank me later. Thank me later. Stu, you said you were going to email me. Email me. TristanLawShowMedia@gmail.com. Look, I'm open to anybody. Call me, 973-826-0101. Email me, whatever. Reach out. We're building a community here. I don't want to be at 10,000 subscribers and you be like, I've been watching the entire time and I never reached out. You can just email me to say, hey, look, what'd you think about Raw tonight? We're a community here. I am the guy that you found on YouTube, right? And we are building a community. I am the most accessible pro wrestling. I am the most accessible pro wrestling personality here on YouTube that gives you an opportunity to voice your opinion and get to know me. That's it. We cool. Now don't be asking me for money now because I don't got it and I'm broke. Austin Roberts says, that was impressive. WrestleMania 43 going to be in that same stadium or no? I don't know. I don't know at all. They said that there's supposed to be a new stadium being built in Saudi Arabia, but it won't be ready until 2028, and WrestleMania is supposed to be in 2027, so I don't know how that's going to work. But we're talking about Saudi Arabia right now. And then somehow we ended up yelling about the women's gear. Y'all know what gear is? I'm about to put y'all on right now. I'm about to put y'all onto some Pro Wrestling 101. The gear is what you wear in the ring. Some people might call it costumes. Some people might call it attire, whatever. But traditionally, it's called gear. And everybody's upset right now because they're spreading rumor and innuendo online that the ladies in Saudi Arabia, they had to pay for their own gear. Attention, everybody that is listening to my voice right now. I am Tristan Law. I'm a semi-retired pro wrestler. I was trained by Bubba Ray and Devon Dudley in June 2007. In 2009, I started training in New York with Nunzio, Little Guido, right? Richie Rotten, a guy named Preacher. Preacher has trained a lot of people that you might see on TV today, right? I went to wrestling school with QT Marshall, with Blue Pants, with Dexter Loomis, with Talatonga and Tamatanga. I went to wrestling school with them. I have wrestled against Tommy Dreamer, Tito Santana, Damian Priest back in the day. I wrestled Eddie Orengo, the referee in the WWE. I've wrestled him. So I know what I'm talking about when it comes to wrestling. Whether you are wrestling in the Indies, the WWE, AEW, or TNA, you're buying your own gear. Whether you're wrestling in the AEW, the Indies, TNA, or wherever, New Japan Pro Wrestling, you're buying your own gear. Unless they have something really specific that they want, where your gimmick is like Mankind and they're going to make the mask for you. There are people out there on the internet that are gear makers. They're seamstresses, but we call them gear makers. And what we do is we submit everything to them and they go ahead and they design our gear for us. We go to gear makers. We pay for it with our own money, right? Now, if you're in the WWE, AEW, TNA, you might need approval. But if you have one design that you normally use, you can flip-flop colors without an issue. But you can't be dressed up as The Undertaker one day because your gimmick is The Undertaker. I'm like, I don't like this gear anymore. I'm going to design it to look like Kane. You can't do that. You can't do that. But you have the autonomy to go get your gear from wherever you want. Mercedes Moné, her ex-husband used to design her gear, right? He works for the WWE as a seamstress, right? Bianca Belair designs her own gear. They're paying for it on their own. So people saying, oh, well, you know what? Because the ladies are going to Saudi Arabia dressing up like Power Rangers, the WWE should have to pay for that because the woman shouldn't have to dress like that. Listen to me. Listen to me when I'm talking to y'all. You're not going to go to a party, right? You're not going to go to a party wearing yesterday's clothes. You're not. You're not going to a party wearing yesterday's clothes where they're going to be taking so many pictures of you. WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, Money in the Bank now. Those are the big pay-per-views. So for the big pay-per-views, you got to come out with your Sunday best. I don't want to be caught dead in what I was wearing last time. It's not like the ladies were wrestling naked.
Yeah.
And Rikishi, yes, Stu, I did wrestle Rikishi. It's not like the ladies were going to wrestle naked, and because they were going to Saudi Arabia, they just happily had to buy gear now. They were going to buy gear anyway. Now, me personally, I don't like full body gear, right? I used to wear long tights from my waist all the way down to my ankles, and I hated taking it off because at the end it's a sweat rag. So I eventually lost weight and I started wearing the trunks. Why? Because there was a lot less wet stuff on me. But if I went to Saudi Arabia and they said, or somebody's country, and they said, we don't want you wearing that, we want you to wear this. You know what? Before I even say it, let me see what that check looked like. Listen to me what I'm telling y'all. That Saudi Arabia check is going to clear. Okay? Rey Mysterio, they said that Rey Mysterio couldn't wear the cross on his head, on his mask, and he had to cover up his cross on his arm. Let me tell you something. So what that Saudi Arabia check looked like, though. Some of y'all go to work for jobs that don't really pay y'all anything, for jobs that don't really pay us anything, and we do what they tell us to do. In WWE, AEW, the Indies, New Japan Pro Wrestling, MLW, NWA, they all pay for their own gear. Everything is case by case. You can't be upset that the women have to pay for their own gear. Like, if I was in the WWE and they were saying, oh, wow, the ladies have to pay for their own gear, I would say, hold on, stop, wait a minute. So y'all really trying to tell me that somebody's paying for the ladies' gear the whole time and I'm not paying for mine? Let's give the chat a little bit of love because we're almost, we're wrapping it up here. Austin says some of the women's gear was nice. They were creative. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100% so. 100% so. King Suavito says everybody wants a fighting champion, but Cody is already a 2-time WWE champ, and in his 2 reigns, he defended it maybe less than 20 times or 25 times at the most. Plus, he's never on TV. He's never always on TV either. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Grant 8319. Hey, never see your name before. Welcome. He says, in his opinion, the Women's Rumble went surprisingly well, and it set a good tone for the show. And that's why the first match is always important. When I first started wrestling, I used to hate wrestling the first match. And then I learned the specialty of wrestling in the first match. And because I wrestled in the first match, I set the tone. And I got to be undressed a little earlier. Stu says that Lyra had the best gear. J360FX. I never seen your name before. Welcome. He said that Sol Ruka had the coolest gear in my opinion. You're wrong. You know the coolest gear? Io Sky in the Power Rangers costume, in the Power Rangers gear. That is the coolest one for me. You can't tell me nothing. I think that's the coolest. If you don't know nothing about me, y'all know that I love Power Rangers. I love Power Rangers. Probably the only one I thought that the movie was good as well too. But like I said, when it comes to the gear, sometimes WWE, they may commission something special. You know, they may build the first one just so they can see what it looks like so that the talent has it. But that's not standard. That's rare. When it comes to the whole entire gear of the ladies in Saudi Arabia, this wasn't a scandal. It was fans finally discovering how wrestling actually works. Y'all think because y'all watch what? 10 episodes of WWE Unreal, y'all know what it's like? Y'all think because, you know, y'all go ahead and read what Dave Meltzer said on the internet, y'all know what wrestling is like? There's still so much meat on the bone that Unreal is not giving y'all, and Wednesday at noon, we are going to be breaking down WWE Unreal Season 2, Episode 2. We're breaking down episode by episode. So I want you guys to watch Episode 2, Season 2 of Unreal, and come back and we are going to discuss it as a family on Wednesday. And all of this leads to one uncomfortable truth about WWE fans. Listen right now. WWE is global. Casual fans, they matter. International audiences, they matter. Hardcore fans, we are not the only voice in the WWE right now. When WWE stopped centering hardcore fans, some fans mistook that for decline. Let me ask you this, whether you're watching live or on demand, tell me in the comments. Are you critiquing the product, or are you mad not being catered to? Looking at the poll, we got a lot of votes for this one. WWE right now is, I asked 4 questions. Is it better than it ever been? Is it fine but not exciting? Is it directionless and boring? Or do you just want Vince McMahon back? Here's what we got. There's a 2-way tie right now. 9% of the audience. 9% of the audience says that it's better than ever before, but 9% said that they want Vince McMahon back. 27% of the audience says that WWE is directionless and boring. I wonder what hot take Maria booked, what she picked. But 55% right now says that WWE right now is fine, but not exciting. If I had to pick right now, I would not say that it's better than it's ever been. I think it's just fine. But I don't think that it's not exciting. I think that WWE is exciting. I look forward to watching every Monday. I love it when I can watch Raw at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I love it. And if you have the VPN, you could watch SmackDown live at 2 p.m. when you're international. Remember who told you that first? Wrestling fans always say that they want Vince back. But what they really want, what you really want is unpredictability. And unpredictability, it feels exciting. Until you get Vince McMahon back and the whole entire thing burns down. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Whether you were watching here for the first time or you are watching here all the time, thank you very much. I just got called a mark. Oh, I just got called a mark! Y'all want a quick story? When I went to Team 3D Academy, Bubba Ray Dudley asked me, hey, are you a mark? And I was like, I didn't want to answer the question, right? Because being a mark is bad. But let me tell you something about pro wrestlers, right? The worst thing you could ever call a fan is a mark, right? Because they're taking their hard-earned money to give to you, number one. Number two, the thing about being a mark, the biggest marks in pro wrestling are the wrestlers, because we were dumb enough to sit at home and watch it on TV and dumb enough to go give our money to some carny to go teach us how to fall on our backs. And now we're entertaining you, and some of us, we think that we know better. So you know what? If I'm a mark, call me as a mark. Well, thank you so much for joining us today on the Tristan Law Show. If you like what I did today, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Send me an email, tristanlawshowmedia@gmail.com. Call me, 973-826-0101. Check out the website, 830mg.com. We're doing some big things here. Join me on Wednesday for the recap of Season 2, Episode 2 of WWE Unreal, and we'll see you on Friday for Main Event Conversations. I'm Tristan Law. This is the Tristan Law Show, and I'll see you next time.
Red lights, driving at night, windowless ride, feeling alive, nothing